Howdy, boys and girls. Cursed Curator again with some more Cursed Curations visual novels, and this episode is about Quantum Suicide. This is a game by Cotton Candy Cyanide. So I played this game about last year. It was a really fun experience because I was really iffy on if it would be a good game or not, a good visual novel, or rather. Because when it comes to games that are similar to Zero Escape, the whole 999 series going on there, is that they're really hit or miss. And this is a game that really hit for me. It was really, truly enjoyable. But let's first hop into what this game is all about. Quantum Suicide is a game about betrayal, deception, and romance in the cold depths of space. This science fiction thriller visual novel tells the tale of an intergenerational mission and its diverse crew, fighting against a deadly AI and each other. For the chance to survive, strategy, love interests, and quantum mechanics await you. Your choices change the fate of everyone in Quantum Suicide. You play as a researcher aboard a spaceship on an epic mission to find humanity a new home. The mission is jeopardized by a corrupted AI system that forces you to play the Deletion Game, a weekly game where you must battle your crewmates for survival. Prepare to make both friends and enemies of your crew as you play through the rounds of the Deletion Game. Can you see the Everett's mission through to the end alive? Now, the game has a bunch of features, and I don't know how correct the very first statement is. It has over 30 different endings, but this is from the Steam page, but from the actual website, it says it has over 50. But at least from my counting, in the actual game itself, was around 30, give or take. Now, these endings are dominantly bad endings. Like the endings themselves are denoted as, okay, this is a bad end. The endings are actually good. Like, they're really, really good. In many cases, they're really funny. They're kind of jokey, or sometimes really serious and dark. It really depends. Also, to play as a boy or a girl. There are 7 romance endings, including free female, and the AI system itself, which I thought was a lovely touch. The romance options have their own sexual preferences, romance and friendzone endings depending on your choices. Original soundtrack, available in English and Japanese with the full voice acting. Death around every corner. So, this is a game that does not really follow the traditional dating sim type structure. Uh, yeah, it really doesn't do that, which is fine. It's fine and dandy. One thing I did not do, I really honestly, it slipped my mind when I was looking through this, was including images of the protagonists. So I apologize for not doing that. I will probably include it somewhere towards the end of this. I already have all the images for the other characters, but we'll go for them first. Before we go to the protagonists, who won't really have much going on there anyway. But I will explain a few things before we happen to the characters. So, Deletion Game is okay. What I really thought, at least when I looked at this, I'm like, oh wow, this is really hitting onto the what's the word? The whole Zero Escape thing, where you have the vote, and it does play like that. It's kinda. It does differ, because I believe there is an instance where you can have everyone literally tie, but it does not matter if you know you tie or not, because somebody needs to have less. At least that's what I remember. It has been a while, so I might be dead wrong there, so please excuse me. So I will explain the Deletion Game a little bit more here. Deletion Game is a weekly event instituted by Dai. Dai is a character we'll get onto in a little bit. Following the appearance of Dai, personality within the AI system, participation in the Deletion Game becomes mandatory for every person aboard the Everett. The first round of Deletion Game sees the AI introduce the game Make 10 as a means of determining who will be executed. In Make 10, each player is given a digital card, with a possible numbering from 1 to 10. The players transact with each other in an effort to collectively produce the number 10 with their combined cards. Those who reach the number 10 will survive at the end of the round if they maintain that number. Participants can trade or give cards at authorized terminals. So you are really determining, who lives or dies, really at this, this intersection, basically. But there are other avenues where you, the player, can die, or the other not players, the characters can die. And it's a whole thing. It's really dramatic, and I really, really adored that. So let's get to the actual characters before I keep rambling. So this is my favorite character. Her name is Shizuka Hamura. I hope I said that right. Me being American and Japanese names do not go together. Shizuka is a lazy, quirky, and naive. She's awkward with emotions and prefers to lock herself in her room and play video games than deal with people or her duties. So she is one of our romanceable characters, and she is a hoot. I think that out of all the characters, she has one of the strongest romance paths. There's another character we'll get into that has one that's debatably stronger, and she's pretty central to the entire game, considering she's involved in a lot of the endings. That's what I'll say to not spoil anything else. I like to be very non-spoilerly with this whole series, but sometimes I kind of slip up, or it kind of is necessary to mention it. So that is Shizuka. Next up is this handsome Chad. Let me get to his name. This is Katashi Ikari. Katashi is an is an honest, hard-working crew member. He is sweet and a little cheeky, but can sometimes be overprotective. In his spare time, Katashi likes to bake cakes. So I believe that this character is bisexual. So you can romance him from either path, unlike Shizuka, who I believe is solely just a male option. She's also a otaku, if I to mention that part. So yeah, he is a great character. He is the farmhand on the crew, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time. Let me take a little sip of water. But yeah, I remember him with his route being pretty good. Honestly, when it comes to his stuff, it wasn't very memorable because I tended to try and play as the guy, the guy protagonist. Which, by the way, it does not matter who you play as really, because no matter what, if you want the true end, you kind of have to play as both of them eventually. Which I mean is fine and dandy if it's something you don't mind. I tend to prefer to play as men in games. It's just really my my overall choice, really. And I know that some people prefer to play solely as a female, and that is perfectly fine too. So let me quickly add the protagonist to this lineup. By the way, I again forgot to add them. Let me pause that. There we go. He and she is now in here. So let us go to our next lovely character. So this is the character I was referring to earlier with when I was talking about Shizuka. This character is Kimiko Yukimori. She is the captain of the Everett. She is an orderly and an obsessive woman with a fierce determination to protect the mission, her crew, and those she loves. And now remember that last damn line. Remember that line. That line is so important. Because again, this is a game about quantum stuff, meaning there are multiple timelines running at the same time as each other. So just because some things happen in one timeline, does not mean it does not affect another. It can happen, and this actually dives in a little bit into the bad endings a bit, because one thing you'll notice about some of the endings, be they bad and all the bad endings actually. What am I talking about? Every bad ending actually showcases, for most part, not all of them, mind you, a different reality, a bit different from the one that we are in. They show different characters that appear that are not in any of the actual quote endings. With the main ending and the romances. You will not see these characters anywhere else. And sometimes you'll see an ending where all the characters are radically different, to where they're like mobsters, for example. That's an example. It's not an actual ending. I don't call that ending. That's just an example, of course. And they showcase off a redheaded girl. There's a whole bunch of fun things going on there. But yeah, that's Shizuka. Just know that she is very important, and she is very obsessive. That's very important to keep mentioning. Next up is a character who, ultimately, she does not have a massive role. As to not spoil anything, she is a character who does not appear as much as all the others. That's how I'll say it. Is that she is deeply tied, in a sense, to the plot, but yet barely appears. That's how I'll put it. She is very kind and friendly towards the protag, which is great, especially because you'll learn how they are connected in a sense. So that's all really to say about Sora. Next up is a character who is just adorable, and she has some of the most goofiest portions in the game. especially in the bad endings, because her faces that she makes look so stupid sometimes, are just so outlandish. So Melody here, who also has like no last name, I need to mention that. Um, Melody is the daughter of an unlikely relationship between two of the survivors of the original incident. She's a sweet little girl forced to handle some pretty heavy burdens. She goes nowhere without her friend, rather without her dinosaur, Fred. I apologize for misreading that one. So, if I remember correctly, prior to the events of the game starting, there was a whole incident that happened. Um, I cannot recall if the Wikipedia or rather the fandom for this actually mentions it because it's rather sparse. I'm kind of saddened by that because this game kind of deserves a pretty well detailed like a wiki, and maybe one day I'll actually hop in there myself and do something about that. But that's a whole other story for another time. Next up is another character who has rather sparse information about him, but that's just how it be sometimes for real. So this character's name is Vladimir Mishenko. That's a name I hope I pronounced that correctly. He is a scientist aboard the Everett, as well as the father of Melody. Vladimir is considered brilliant and is one of the few remaining original members of the crew. I think the crew was actually much bigger in the overall, and it's quite likely that in the how do I say this? In the bad endings, it shows off these additional like crew members who survived somehow, unlike in the the original, which I think is actually kind of cool to speculate upon. Hopefully one day that'll be mentioned. I actually had a brief conversation with the developers through an email, and I will not mention things that were talked about because they asked me to not to. I'm very excited for things they'll do in the future. That's all I'll really say. I know they've been kind of quiet as of late. That's how it is though. So next up is a character who is really, really scary, like super duper scary. This is Dai. She is a AI. Duh. Well, she is one of the two AI on board. She is the quote unquote evil iteration of it. The whole thing going on. Let me go over to the info, the very sparse information I have on Dai. It sounds so wrong when I say it like that, doesn't it? There we go. So Dai is ooh boy. So she is the the malicious AI. She is a character who is very brutish in a sense that she is basically forcing things to go along in the whole thing. And she really does demand things of the characters. She is, by the way, romanceable. So yes, you can romance the AI, and that was not a joke. Both versions of the AI can be romanced, by the way. So pick your flavor of seductress AI. You can have the evil one, which by the way she is evil. And just remember that you're romancing the evil one, or the good one. I kind of do prefer Mal, or rather the Dai, the evil one, over AI. This is how it is though. This is my preference really. Shizuka is still better than all the female and male options, at least in my opinion. But that's how it is. Next up is a character I can actually talk about a little bit more detail. Is AI or I. So I here is the artificial intelligence system on board the Everett. She was designed as a humanoid interface to better facilitate communications between crew and the system. That's the general gist of her, and she does her best to try and help the crew throughout the whole endeavor. No matter what timeline you are in, she does appear. I do believe there are some minor differences here and there, but overall, she's still pretty much the same character. Um, Unlike Dai, who is just evil herself throughout all of them. I do think there is some variation, perhaps. Oh wait, no, I tricked myself. In one of the endings, AI, or rather I, is actually not evil, but it seems that way. Sorry about I'm kind of over the place here with this one. It's really hard trying to recall every little thing. I honestly should have replayed this game a lot more than the hour I gave it to really brush up on everything. Next up is a character that really needs no introduction, honestly. This is Nicholas Vogel. I hope I said that right. Nicholas is a confident, charming, and calculating. He knows what he wants, and he knows how to get it. As a doctor, he has a keen interest in the human mind and how it works. So he is a pair. He is, what's the word? He's a twin. And we'll get to his other twin in just a moment. So to determine, his twin is that he is a fraternal twin. Or rather, they are. They are not the same gender at all. So, for romance, if I recall correctly, he solely likes men. I might be wrong about that one. It's been a long time. I cannot honestly recall. If not that, then he might just be bisexual. I apologize again that I can't remember this. It's one of those things where it's honestly been so long. Ooh man. And I do know that he can reject you. Oh wait, no. He's bisexual or he's straight. Either way, he's romanceable. That's all you need to know. But ladies, look at him. Do you not find this attractive? Anyway, next off to the baddest baddie on the entire entire thing. And so I now see as to why I got confused between the twins. This is Beatrix Vogel. She, much like her brother, is a German. If you couldn't tell by the naming scheme, Beatrix is an intelligent and proud woman with a fiery temper. She can be pushy and arrogant at times, but underneath it all, she is a loyal and loving. She has a fondness for singing. Sorry about that. So she is rather narcissistic in the game, which is, well, yeah. I mean, look at her. Yeah. And as I said before, that I got confused is that between his siblings, I knew that one of them was playing for the same team, so to say. She's the one playing for the same team. She prefers her, her own gender, and that's fine and dandy. Pop off, queen. Next up is, oh boy, Yoshiki Sasaki. I might say that wrong again. So he is another character who is also playing for the same team. Yoshiki is an energetic, positive, and always getting into trouble. As an engineer, he enjoys tinkering with gadgets, but often gets distracted before finishing them. So Yoshiki here, I recall his ending. Like, as I said before, I've only replayed this for about an hour, give or take. I actually got pretty damn deep, because I'm a pretty fast reader, give or take. Give or take, yeah, sure, buddy. His ending is really and truly enjoyable. I'd place him like right below, right below Shizuka in terms of how enjoyable it was, because he is like really close in age to the protagonist, at least as far as I can really like tell, like just like Shizuka is, and well. Do not be deceived by his appearance. This man is ripped. He is shredded. As in Rick and Morty would say, he has fuck gutters. I don't know what that is exactly, but yeah. Next up is the protagonist, who has no name. It's been lost. The protagonist is is a trip man. So quite obviously, to not really spoil anything, when the protagonist shows up, yes, they show up. They are not on board immediately. That's the only real spoiler I will give there. Is that, well, they are related to I believe two members of the previous crew. But, or rather, they were raised on, oh, actually, they already tell us everything we need to know right here. What am I doing? Is a researcher studying interdimensional travel. Was raised on a shuttle. Voice crack, my lord. Bringing X aboard results in dire consequences for all. So yes, when this character is rescued, everyone suffers for it. That's something that's really something that I believe is mentioned later on in the game. That if it wasn't for the protagonist, none of this would have happened. Give or take. Can't remember. It's been a while. Now, I should talk about something that's so important is yes, there are a lot of romances in the game, and this game is unique in a sense that unlike like romancing, an AI or always males and females, what if I said that you could romance yourself? What if I said that? It involves some time fuckery and some jumping around across the timelines, but you can do it. um, yeah, I won't say anything else about that, but you can do that. So, what are my overall opinions on this game from of course, the additional hour I replayed, and from all the time I played in the past? Well, I think this game got overhated by people. Something I noticed is that this game got a lot of flack on Reddit and on a few other places because it. Well, one thing I noticed is that this game featured a panty shot that which with the character Shizuka. That got some flack on Reddit for some reason. I'm like, come on, man. There's so many games that do this shit. When it came to me backing this game in Kickstarter, I think this game really did deserve all the support it could get. Um, how do I really explain my love and joy for this game? So when I came to this game, I thought this would be like a whole other clone of Zero Escape and its formula. But as I got deeper, and with this game, I won't say this game is perfect. No, there are issues here and there. When you play as one character, you'll see a lot of things being repeated, but you can always skip that obviously through of course it's using RenP, so you can just skip, which is great, but still but at the same time, Zero Escape does this too, and people don't complain about it. You can just skip, but people were giving that as a complaint. Um, of course, I understand. If you're playing as a male first and then a female, I don't think you can skip, which that might be the issue. I don't really know. It's been so long for me. But yes, I think this game, at least in my scale, I think this game is a solid 8 out of 10. It's a solid 8 out of 10. It could use some work here and there in some aspects, but the voice acting is perfect. The art is great. That's one thing I actually like. I love about this game is that the art is really good with the characters, the backgrounds. It's just so good. Um, do I like the fact that the game really centers heavily on one of the characters, aka in this instance is Kimiko? I did not like that too much, but at the same time, she's so important that I understand as to why she's so central to everything. Um, you'll quickly grow to hate Kimiko, by the way. Do not, of course, I won't say as to why you'll start hating her. You'll figure it out yourself. But she is really enjoyable at first, at least in my opinion. Um, but yeah, that's all I really to say here is that this game is good. It does deserve to be played, and of course, if you like this game, and what I've said so fucking far, check it out yourselves. It's great. Um, I got the game on sale, but honestly, you can get this game at any point in time. It's worth any price, the full price or at half price or whatever they decide to go down with. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe for more, and peace.